I'm here with my good friend, Olle. Pronounce your last name for me, Olle.
Siljeholm.
I've known you for a long time, and I'm not
You
even
still
going to
can't
freaking
say
try.
it.
And I always get pissed off when people go, how do you pronounce your last name, Rudy? And here I am doing the same stupid thing.
You know, after a while, since I moved here, it's kind of like, you know, no one can pronounce either my first or my last name, so I just go with it. I pretty much know who they're addressing.
So you came here in '08.
Yes.
So you've been here a long time now. It seems like just yesterday in a way.
14 years or so.
14 years.
Yeah.
And you were here supposedly on a 2-year
Contract.
So the way it works at Ericsson is you're at Ericsson for life, but your countries are 2-year contracts. Explain that.
Well, that's different depending on what kind of assignment you're on, right? You can have a short-term contract or a long-term contract. The short-term were back then, I'm not with Ericsson anymore, but it used to be like 6 months or so. I came on a 2-year contract because they knew that this initiative or the program I was going to work on was going to take a little over or around 2 years. And obviously 2 years becomes 3 years, right? And 3 years became 4 years. So I was actually...
So you get extensions.
Exactly.
But
so
eventually they want you back at the mothership.
So after 4 years, they kind of called from the headquarters and say, you know what, you know, you have to take a pick. Either you go local and stay in California, or you come home. We can't hold your spot forever. But that's how it is.
What does going local mean?
Oh, full-time employment in California.
So that's an option.
So I still had my head count in Sweden. They kept that for me. But then when I went full-time employee in California, I became a Californian employee.
Okay, and
that was after 4 years.
What would be the drawback that you might not get your job again if you wanted to go back?
Well, they released my position in Sweden, obviously.
Yeah,
but after 4 years, you know, 2 years is kind of like, you know, you have already a new set of friends, and you know, you know your neighborhood and your favorite restaurants, stuff like that. After 3 years, you kind of think like, I can live here, you know, this is good, right? And after 4 years, when they called, I kind of like, nah, it's okay, right? I'll stay.
Like the song, you can check out anytime you like, but you can't leave. So, did you live in any other countries on a contract?
I did. I was in. Well, not the short-term contracts. I was in Malaysia, I was in Spain, Madrid, for a couple of months, 6 months, around 6 months. So I had been around and done a lot of IT projects, consolidation and whatever it was that I did. So a lot of program management I did.
So what is it about Silicon Valley that you said, I just can't leave this joint?
To me, as a European, and specifically, I don't know how other companies' culture is, but I know Ericsson, and it's very consensus-driven, very European. You know, everybody should have a say, this and that. One thing that I realized pretty quick coming here is like you have to make decisions fast, right? And then you correct them afterwards, right? So I was very much set up to like, oh, we need our, you know, sponsors and this and that. Everyone should be informed, which takes a long time, right? So that process could be kind of tedious. But we shortened that, and I got into the Silicon Valley way of working pretty fast, right? You know, picked it up pretty fast. And we turned around things faster and faster.
And you thought, fuck, I can't go back to the old way.
But that's true, actually. The few times that I did go back to the headquarters and you know, workshops and spend some time there, I felt it very slow, right? You know, it was a slow pace. So I kind of like, oh, I want to come back to Silicon Valley.
Very good.
And one thing that I learned and I noticed when I came back to Sweden also is like in Silicon Valley, if I have a problem, I can pick up the phone, or the company I have a problem with or soliciting or whatever I'm doing is across the street or 15 minutes away, right? So I could go to VMware, Citrix, Microsoft, you know, they're all there,
amazing,
right? And all of a sudden, all the problems that would take a couple of weeks in Europe to do, I mean, fix it here. And it's like, Wave, I'm on the other side, like that was VMware, right?
Yeah, you can go visit. You know, Silicon Valley's been that way from the very beginning. The computer companies started here because the chip companies were here. And then the software companies started here because the computer companies were here. Right, and so on. So it just...
And before Ericsson kind of established itself in California or started growing some of the product lines in California, Dallas, Texas, or Richardson, Texas, was the kind of telecom hub in the day. You had Nortel, Ericsson, you know, AT&T, and all those guys. So we had a big, or still have a big presence in Ericsson, in Dallas, right? And then gradually California started growing, right?
So are you a green card holder? Or
no, I'm a citizen
Good
now.
for you.
Yeah.
When did you get that?
2017, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you did that by marrying a Mexican, is that right? That's your wife is Mexican.
No, that
You
came
can cut
later.
this out,
That came later. No. That's not how it works.
I just think it's funny
That's
that your wife
not how
is
it works.
Mexican.
No, so yeah, I got my green card through work.
Oh, okay,
Right,
okay.
first. So that was a long process. And then after that, I got married and all that stuff.
And you've got a baby now.
I do.
So
She's
tell us
8.
about, he's 8 years old, wow.
She's 8.
She's
slowly.
8. So, so what's on your mind these days? What do you think about? What turns you on? What's next for Olle?
You know what I'm happy about? Concerts are back again, right? I can go to Shoreline again and be amongst.
Are you a rock and roll guy like
I
me, or
am a
what?
rock and roll guy. Well, I'm a little bit of everything.
60s, 70s?
Yeah, classic rock.
Yeah.
I'm a big classic rock fan.
I'm stuck in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, me too, man. It's all Leonard Skinner and such.
Dude, congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations
absolutely.
on being
Living
married,
the
your
life.
kid, your citizenship, your dream to stay in the valley. You figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Indeed.
you're
Living the life.
working
cheating
in
death.
Palo Alto at SAP. Good for you. Congratulations.
All right.
Good to see you, bud.
Excellent.
All right.
Anytime, Rick.
Okay.